Far Cry 5 sort of comes across like a different game than you may be expecting, and that does not make it any less of a brilliant game. Before the game released, a lot of talk was about sort of the political climate and sort of where Far Cry 5 will stand in terms of its messaging, and I think that was always the wrong way to look at things. I think people were looking for something that they were hoping would exist and then didn't. Far Cry 5 is much more about the religious cultism that sort of you see about, and sort of taking the words of a certain religion or creed and sort of twisting it maybe to your own will to make it be something that suits your agenda. And this sort of intro based on this is one of the best intros I've ever played in any sort of game, and it's something I definitely was thinking about for quite a while after I was set free in the world, and the height of that intensity aren't really matched by Joseph Seed or his three family members. It's something that kind of hits a high point really early on, and then it sets you free in probably the best Far Cry world today, because it just does not rest up. There is always something happening. It's fun, it's distracting in the best possible way, and it offers you a lot of ties at your disposal that have been finely tuned to an extent that makes it just the most enjoyable sandbox I've been in a long time. Gone is leveling up and then unlocking skills through that way. Instead, there's a perk system, so you complete challenges that will unlock a certain number of perk points, and pretty much every perk in this tree is available from the beginning. So it's not exactly a tree as much as it is a flat board, and that's fine. I think it sort of diminishes the need or want to progress, and for progression to sort of invest in a certain style more and more, and instead it lets you sort of go wherever you want, but there's a slight lack of direction in that sort of, to me, hindered the enjoyment of unlocking new skills. The world itself of Hope County in Montana is absolutely beautiful to look at. The landscapes, to sort of some of the vistas on offer, to the wildlife, to everything about it is designed and implemented so well. There were so many times when I had a goal in mind and I just was distracted to one side or the other, and I just did not mind whatsoever. Normally in a game that you have missions and you want to go do the mission, and the game throws something at you to just force you in another direction, I didn't feel so bad here. I think because of the way the quest design is done is brilliant. You can be given a quest to go to a certain objective or marker, but then you can get distracted by another side mission and go do that, and you don't lose the progression or you don't fail the main mission. It allows you to just feel free, and weirdly enough, that's some of the best sort of thematic things I felt about the game, is feeling free and sort of in this world that, sure, if you look a little bit further, when you think of the narrative, you're basically a sheriff and you're here to arrest Joseph Seed, and it's this weird thing where you go and kill hundreds of his men, and there's something I'll talk about now in a second, but basically when you're hunted, they do not kill you. They shoot bliss bullets, which is like a drug that will knock you out and capture you, and you lose all your weapons, and they do that multiple times for each region. So there's 3 main regions in the game. Each of them culminates in one of the children, and they all feel quite different in terms of what they're doing and what their part plays in the game. Faith, who's the drug person who's all about sort of these experiences and all that, and you have some others, that the other 2 that are just more about sort of maybe the militaristic style or the blind fellowship or following of Joseph, which is fine. It makes it feel different, but I think the whole thing of taking the power away from you so often and being hunted so often is quite annoying and never goes away. But the fact that the game's broken into 3 regions, visually they're not as different as they could have been, to sort of give you an idea of the different areas. Like there's a mountainous area, there's a farmland area, and it makes sense, I guess, to the area itself of Hope County, but breaking it up in that sort of way sort of made me feel like it should have been more than what it is. But that being said, you're free to go to every region. The game kind of suggests you go to one of them in particular, but you're not forced to. You can go around everywhere whatever you want from the beginning, which is pretty cool. Gone are the towers. The implementation of how they implement that sort of stuff is pretty smart and fun. You have companions. They can be both human that you pick randomly on the side of the road, or specific ones that have skills. And then also there are 3 main animals, which is Peaches, Cheeseburger, and Boomer the dog, which you've probably seen in the advertising for the game. It's fun. It like I said, the main thing it is it feels like a sandbox. It feels like they give you a bunch of tools and ties to play around with, and then give you enough reason to try out those things. And like I said, stuff just never stops. Like if you decide to take the road, you're guaranteed to be hounded by cars. You're bound to see people tied up at the side of the road. Animals go absolutely apeshit in this game. It's just so much fun to just be in such a crazy world. It's just unfortunate the beginning feels so narratively strong and never follows up on that. It comes back around at the end, and the sort of, depending on how whether you like it or not, there's a strong-ish ending, I guess. But other than that, the 3 children are kind of throwaway. It still follows a lot of Far Cry cliches, which is kind of fun, but at the same time, I don't know if they can get away with it anymore. But Far Cry 5, as a game, as a toolbox, as a sandbox, as something that gives you a bunch of things to play around with, it's honestly one of the best open world games I've ever played. Just don't expect any crazy messaging in terms of its story or narrative.
They will try to take from us all that we have built. You judge me. You judge us. The things that we have done. People say that I'm crazy.